You ready?
Yeah.
A beautiful Friday night in Southern Ohio as we get ready for Week 8 action here in the state's first capital. Dewey and Tim Daly along with you tonight. Glad to have you with us. Rivalry week here at Unyota High School. Yunyota and Zane Trace coming up here at Unyota High School. Should be a fun night.
Well, once again, here I go with, for about the 8th week in a row saying you couldn't ask for a better situation weather-wise. There's calm winds, a little clouds in the sky, but 60, 65 degree temperatures that may drop 3 or 4 or 5 degrees during the game, and it's going to be played under a perfect circumstance, and it's an absolute perfect setting for a football game.
Both teams undefeated within the Scioto Valley Conference. Unyota 6-1 overall. So far this season, Unyota 2-1 in the non-league, wins at Benton County and here at home against Amanda, dropping Week 3 to Waverly, and then 4 straight within the league over Westfall, Huntington, Piketon, and Adena. For Zane Trace, not as much luck in the non-league. However, an extremely tough non-league schedule for the Pioneers. Losses at Logan Elm, losses at home to Waverly, and then a win at home to wrap up the non-league over North Eugen. Also for the Pioneers, it's been 4 straight within the SVC, wins over Adena, Piketon, Huntington, and Westfall. So actually, all these teams have played
exactly the same
schedule within the league, just a different order. Should be a fun matchup, same circumstances as last year. Both come in undefeated within the league. Once again, should be an extremely fun night.
Well, I mean, obviously the winner here stays in the race for the league championship, and the people out in Bainbridge will have something to say about that before it's over, because we know the last 2 weeks they go at
Paint Valley at home against Unyota Week 9, and then at Zane Trace Week 10.
So I mean, there's still the conference is really still up for grabs, but the winner tonight no doubt gets the first leg of the chase.
Been 2 straight for the Pioneers, winners in 2021 and last year. 35-31 was the final in Kinnickinnick. Before that, it was a 4-game win streak from 2017 to 2020.
Well, I mean, anytime, and I would never compare, although maybe to some people it's as important. You compare to the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry to something like this, but obviously it's not at that level. But I can tell you this game matters to a lot of people in the Chillicothe-Ross County area. I promise you that.
Both teams coming off of wins in Week 7. For Unyota, it was 52-0 at Adena. Newton Hoops breaks his own record for single-game passing yardage. 17 of 26 for 349 yards, 6 touchdowns. Blake Hoops and Ashton Crace both over 100 receiving yards with receiving touchdowns. Cody Braden and Cutright both with receiving touchdowns as well. Not a whole lot of ground game for the Shermans last week. Ethan Summer led the team with 6 carries for 37 yards. Now for the Pioneers, it was 42-12 at home against Westfall. Riley Hartzell, big game on the ground, 18 carries, 219 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Blake Phillips also with 8 attempts, 44 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gunnar McCullough started at quarterback last week for the Pioneers. He was 5 of 6 for 51 yards, also had 46 yards on the ground and a rushing touchdown. Of the pass catchers that did catch passes for the Pioneers last week, Aiden Dunn led them, which has been the case for a majority of the season with 2 catches for 30 yards. A lot of the pop pass across the line of scrimmage for the Pioneers so far this season.
Well, if you followed either one of these 2 teams for the last 4 or 5 years, you know that Unyota is going to come out in a very balanced look. They're looking to run and pass and take situationally what a defense will allow. I mean, Zane Trace, no doubt, they come into any football game, and they made no mystery about it. They want to run the football, and I mean, and if you can force them to pass, those are things that they don't do nearly as well. So I think, again, it's very similar to the Piketon Zane Trace matchup, where you run into a little bit of balance and a little bit of tempo versus somebody that just wants to go 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and we'll see who flinches first.
Yunyota winning the toss, electing to receive to start off tonight's contest. Ashton Crace and Caden Cutright, the two deep men for the Shermans. Jordan Harrington on to boot it away for the Pioneers. Harrington gives the signal, and we are underway. Let's have some fun here in week 8. This is Crace down the far sideline. He's got a little bit of real estate, and eventually, now he'll stay in bounds down the far sideline. Ashton Crace turning on the Jets. Touchdown.
I don't see any flags. Well, obviously, pregame, when we talk about being able to score quickly, we weren't talking about 13 seconds in the opening kickoff, but I'm sure any coach, let alone Matt Hoops, will take that kind of start. But again, it's early. We'll see how Zane Trace responds, and we'll go from here.
90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for the senior Ashton Crace.
And it looked like to me, again, with about 20 yards to go, he was going to get caught. And he caught a burst and actually pulled away there at the very end. Now, I can assure you that was a little boost from a little adrenaline flowing.
Lucas Haynes on for the point after.
Right down Broadway.
Now 27 of 28 on the year as Haynes, a 7-0 lead for the Shermans, just 13 seconds into week 8. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority.
At Ohio Health, you can see your doctor here or here, on this or on these. And no matter if you're over here, over there, or anywhere in between, you'll feel good knowing Ohio Health provides the finest care anywhere. Schedule care today at ohiohealth.com/finestcare.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at glocknercdjr@portsmouth.com.
90-yard kickoff return for Ashton Crace, a 7-0 lead for the Shermans. Rocky Reinhardt on to boot it away for the Shermans. Aiden Dunn and Gunnar McCullough, the two deep men for the Pioneers. Kick received by Dunn around his own 20-yard line. Looks to flip the field to the far sideline, across the 40, 45, 50-yard line. Eventually forced out of bounds. First look at this Zane Trace offense here in week 8 coming up.
Well, and again, I personally think this is this particular matchup here is the key to the game. If Zane Trace can continue to pound the ball at Zane Trace or at Unioto and control the clock and the pace of the game, I think it goes a long way with them having a great chance to be successful. So here's Uniota's first crack at it.
Ball spotted at the 49-yard line. Langley and Phillips in the backfield for the Pioneers. First down, Pioneers will keep it On the ground, this is Phillips straight ahead, just shy of the Unyota 45.
And there's no question that Yunyota is selling out for the run because they're in straight man coverage. So they've got the box loaded, and again, Zane Trace says, we don't care, we're still going to run the football.
Starting offense for the Pioneers, left tackle Evan Miner, left guard J.T. Jenkins, center Noah Fetters, right guard Lucas Euler, right tackle Spencer Brower. Second down and 5 for the Pioneers. It'll be a keeper for Langley. Stood up at the 45-yard line, which is where he'll be brought down for a pickup of 2. It'll bring up a third down and short.
Again, speed option, which is not exactly what you'll see Zane Trace hang their hat on. That time, Unyota did have one guy on the roof. It was man underneath, but not a very aggressive speed option. But again, Zane Trace is probably at or near what they would consider to be 4-down territory.
Out wide for Zane Trace, Aiden Dunn, Silas Stewart, Cohen Larson, Jaden Higgins. Third down and 3 from the 44. Phillips straight ahead, has the first down and more, barreling his way across the 35-yard line. First down, Zane Trace.
Again, that's what Zane Trace wants to do, and if you can't stop it, they're going to pound it at you like that all night long.
Unyota starts out in a 4-3 stack. It's Will Fleck, Marcel James, Shannon Newell, and KB Perkins, Ethan Sumner, Alex Mills, and David Long. Secondary consisting of Ashton Crace, Jake Howard, Ty Woods, and Caden Cutright.
See, now they're in 0.
This is done in motion. It'll be Langley on the keeper across the 35-yard line. Short pickup on first down for the Pioneers.
Again, you can see the 0 coverage that time, and that's what I call the J.T. Barrett read option, where he bellies the jet sweep guy, and he's reading. Well, honestly, he's probably not reading anything. It was probably designed for him to fake that. But it does set up for the jet sweep. And we know from having had these guys before, they were reasonably effective against Piketon running the jet sweep.
5 wide for the Pioneers, 3 to Langley's left. Here's Dunn on the sweep to the far sideline, has the first down and is pushed out of bounds around the Unyota 22.
Again, they didn't even wait till the very next play to be able to run the jet sweep. In fact, Phillips was split out here to the near side. There was no question that they weren't going to throw the ball, that it was going to be the jet sweep, or Langley was going to keep it again.
Four receivers set, 3 to the field for the Pioneers on first down. Phillips across the 20-yard line, pickup of about 3 yards for the senior.
Again, if you're Yunyota, that's as much success as they've had so far on first down, but without even a small question of a doubt, Zane Trace is in 4-down territory.
Langley will keep it himself on second down and 7, brought up to the Unyota 15.
Again, speed option there with a little bit more speed to it and a little more aggression to it and a little bit better pickup. But again, I don't think that's something that they do particularly well. I look for Mr. Phillips to get the ball here without even a small doubt.
Third down and 3 for Zane Trace. Phillips, right up the gut. He's close to the line to gain.
He got popped pretty good.
Ball will be spotted a yard shy. Pioneers need the 12.
All right, first big play. I mean, to me, I don't think there's any question of a doubt that Zane Trace will run the football here. Now, it could be Langley, but I do think they keep it on the ground here. Big opportunity for Uniota's defense to get off the field. In fact, Phillips is going to keep it.
4th down and 1. Phillips out of the Wildcat, working with some room to the right side. Touchdown, Pioneers, 12 yards.
They got holding. It's coming back. But extremely well blocked interior-wise. I mean, if you're playing flag football, they didn't even come close to getting a hand on Mr. Phillips.
Number 6 of the offense.
That's basically going to put the play back almost to what it was.
Holding on the junior Aiden Dunn.
Now the question is, does Zane Trace come right back to it? They actually gained a yard on the play. And I don't think there's any question of a doubt in the short yardage situation, they leaned strongly into Mr. Phillips.
Penalty was 5 yards from the spot. 10 yards from the spot. Nonetheless, still a 1st down for Zane Trace. First time for Hartzell tonight across the 10.
I mean, that is a very, with Hartzell and Phillips in there both inside the 10-yard line, that is a very tough combination of running to stop. But you know, Uniota's got to know that the ball's not coming out of either one of those two guys' hands. Although Langley's in there.
Second down and 6 from the 7. Hartzell straight ahead. He's brought down right around the 5.
In fact, I don't think Evans is on the field. Yeah, no, he's not.
Tackle made by 53 Fleck. Brings up 3rd and 3.
That's closer to 4. Yeah, Evans isn't in there. No question they're running to the right here.
3rd down, this is Langley the near side. Inside the 5, brought down just shy of the goal line. Should be enough for a Pioneer 1st down nonetheless. Goal to go for Zane Trace inside the 2.
1st and goal.
Yeah, I think Hartzell gets the ball here. No question about it. They don't want to be running Langley more than they have to.
Hartzell straight ahead. He's brought down shy of the goal line. Three receiver set for the Pioneers. Silas Stewart lined up tight to the left side. Langley will keep it himself, looking to sneak it in for the touchdown. And he'll be marked just shy.
Led by a host of tanks.
Could we see the tush push?
Ball spotted inside the 1.
And Evans hasn't been in there the last 3 or 4 plays. Or Phillips, I mean. Phillips.
Play clock down to 7. Zane Trace quick to the line. Langley will keep it himself, trying to inch over the goal line, which he will do for the Pioneer touchdown. His 5th of the year.
Now, the funny thing about it is you're talking about a contrast in style. You know, they got the week. Yunyota scored in 13 seconds. So that's, That's 11:47. So that's about an 8-minute drive. And remember, they started at the 50-yard line or very close to it. I mean, that is a typical Zane Trace possession.
Junior Judah Hanks on for the point after. Remains perfect on PATs for the season, 25 of 25. 7-7 with 3:50 to go in the opening quarter of play here in Week 8. We'll step aside. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority.
Michelle and her dad. Decades of dares. 1 month of learning to jump. First day doing it solo. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student-athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at SOSAOhio.com.
14 plays, 51 yards, capped off by Carter Langley's 6th rushing touchdown of the season. 7-7 with 3:50 to play. Harrington boots it away for the Pioneers. It's a short one, and it'll stop right around the 24-yard line. Caden Cutright able to slide in on top of it. First look at the Sherman offense here tonight.
First and 10 Shermans from their own 25.
Four receiver set for the Shermans, 3 to the field. First downs, Hoops to throw, throwing right, pass is complete. That's Blake Hoops to the 30-yard line.
Number 5, Newton Hoops' pass.
Again, kind of a real soft cover, 2 and a quick roll and a little hitch and a good 5-yard play. And they're going with tempo.
Cohen Larson. Gain of 5 on the play, brings up 2nd and 5.
Dollison alongside Hoops on second down. A quick pass to the far sideline is caught by Blake Hoops, and he's driven straight backwards. It'll be a loss of about 4 yards on the play for Yunyota. 3rd down and 9 coming up.
Again, an attempted slip screen there that was absolutely read, and the corner had walked up on number 1, so he was in great position to make that play. Again, a chance for Zane Trace to get off the field here real quick.
Ball spotted at the 27. Shermans need the 35. Hoops rolling near side. Pass is complete. This is Trace, who's pushed out of bounds around the 35-yard line. Good enough for a Sherman first down.
Good throw. Didn't really get his feet set, but an accurate throw. Trace with a really good catch and a short run for the first down. And again, Yunyota going with tempo.
First and 10 from their own 36.
First carry for Dollison here tonight on first down. No gain on the play for the senior.
Get a little read play up inside and well defended by the interior fronts with Euler and Jenkins.
77, Spencer Brower. Gain of 1 on the play, brings up 2nd and 9.
Second down and 9. Hoops firing over the middle. Pass is complete. This is cut right across the 40-yard line. Ball's out. Zane Trace is on top of it.
Pass was completed to number 13, Cartwright. There's a fumble on the play.
Silas Stewart on top of it for the Pioneers. He'll take over on their own 35.
Again, the unfortunate part for that, if you're a Yunyota fan, is that's probably, for me, that might be the best pass I've ever seen Blake Hoops throw. Accurate, right in the middle of the field where I'm telling you the money is, and just not able to secure the ball after the run.
Pioneers
Empty.
take over with 2:10 remaining in the first quarter. Empty backfield for Carter Langley. Phillips in motion. It's a screen pass to the far side. Caught by Phillips. He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1 for the Pioneers on first down.
Loss of 1 on the play brings up 2nd and 11.
.135 remaining in the opening quarter of play. 2nd down and 11 for Zane Trace. Pitch to his right. This is Phillips across the 35-yard line.
Again, I've sit here and talked about it early on about the speed option not being very much a big part of what Zane Trace wants to do, and they've ran that play probably as often as they've run anything else tonight.
Gain of 4 on the play brings up 3rd and 7.
But again, this is the first real good chance for Yunyota to get off the field here.
3rd down and 7 for the Pioneers. Empty backfield. Have our first time out of the night. It'll be Dylan Wares using his first of the half. 56 to go here in the first quarter. Big thank you to Parmar Stores, Willie & Son Trucking, Glockner family of dealerships, and McDonald's for making our weekly football and volleyball live streams possible. Ohio Health also making everything we do here at Southern Ohio Sports Authority possible. .56 seconds to go in quarter number 1. 3rd down and 7 for Zane Trace from their own 38. Hartsaw alongside Langley in the backfield. Langley the throw pass is tipped by the end. That's KB Perkins who gets a glove on it. 4th down and 7 coming up for Zane Trace.
And again, not surprising that Zane Trace went with a controlled pass with a little slip screen of their own. And I'm not sure, Dewey, who did you have getting a hand on that? Perkins? Yeah, great, outstanding job because he totally disrupted the whole play. And he really, Zane Trace is fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted.
Spencer Brower on to punt it away for the Pioneers. Ashton Crace and Caden Cutright, the 2 deep men for the Shermans. Yunyota electing to let this one roll out, which it will do so inside the Sherman 20-yard line, down by Aiden Dunn. Second drive tonight for this Yunyota offense.
Powers punt rolled down to the Sherman 17, and they take over 1st and 10.
Flags down before the play. Looks to be offsides on Zane Trace. Penalty moves the Shermans up to their own 23. First down and 5. This is Summer to the near side. Bouncing off the first would-be tackler. Has the first down just shy of the 35.
Great block by Dollison, peeling back, and I think he picked off Mr. Phillips. But if he doesn't do that, that was probably going to be a tackle for not very much or even possibly a loss. Again, Yunyota going with tempo.
First and 10, back-to-back carries for Summer across the 40-yard line.
Probably going to be quarter. They might get one more.
15 seconds to go in quarter number 1, over 30 seconds on the play clock.
They're going to sit on it. They're going to sit on it.
That'll take us to the end of the first quarter to play. 7-7, second down and 3 from their own 41 coming up for the Shermans when we come back. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority.
There's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par Mar has it. Download the Par Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
This presentation of high school sports on Southern Ohio Sports Authority is brought to you in part by your local McDonald's. McDonald's proudly supports all area athletes again this season. Visit your local McDonald's in Chillicothe, Circleville, Greenfield, and Waverly. And be sure to check out SOSA's newly relaunched podcast, Overtime, presented by McDonald's.
7-7 is our score as we get ready to kick things off here in the second quarter. "90-yard kickoff return for Ashton Trace. A 1-yard rushing touchdown for Carter Langley. That was Summer on second down and 3.
Again, with 6 guys in the box, I mean, they're telling you, you know, they should be able to run the football. But that play was made from an outside player.
Third down and 4. Shermans need the 44. Hoops. Back to pass on third down. It's complete to the near side. This is Blake Hoops, has the first down and is brought out of bounds just shy of the Zane Trace 45.
Again, thus far, Newton's been dead on the money. Every pass he's had is that ball had a little wobble on it, but the accuracy was indisputable.
New set of downs for the Shermans. This is Summer on first down. He'll barrel his way up to the Pioneer 40.
Again, just kind of a handoff sweep where they're trying to reach everybody and create a little seam outside. They're running it into the short side of the field, which is something a little unexpected, but 5 yards is a successful play. Still tempo.
Second down and 5. Play. This is Summer once again has the first down across the 35-yard line. First down, Yunyota.
14 Summer with the ball carrier. Tackles made by Corner Phillips. First down, Sherman.
Yunyota inside the Zane Trace 35. Hoops to throw on first down. Firing down the middle of the field for Cutright. Pass is incomplete. Broken up by Gunnar McCullough.
Now, I'm going to tell you, that was Newton's best throw of his career. Absolutely read it down. They brought pressure from the outside. He throws the seam. My man gets 2 hands on the ball. If he puts that ball away, that's a touchdown.
Incompletion brings up a second down and 10 for Yunyota. Clock stopped at 10:45 here in the first half. Shermans will keep it on the ground on second down. It's Summer straight ahead. Not a lot of room for the senior.
Again, and I find myself saying this a lot. No question, Uniota's in 4-down territory, so They just have to get this, play to a more manageable than 3rd and 8 to maybe either a first down or something very short.
Brings up 3rd and 8.
Third down and 8 for Yunyota, line to gain at the 24. Hoops to throw, forced out of the pocket, throwing to the near side, pass is incomplete. Broken up by Riley Hartsaw. 4th down and 8, Yunyota.
Outstanding play by Hartsaw. Perfect position, perfect technique, bats it away with his inside hand. Extremely well played. Again, and that play was made by the pressure that was created inside by Zane Trace's interior lineman.
Fourth down and 8 for Yunyota. Hoops drops back to pass. Passes over the head of Cody Braden and incomplete. A turnover on downs for Yunyota. Pioneers take over on their own 32, 9:58 left in the first half.
Again, Zane Trace finds himself getting off the field.
Shermans turned the ball over on downs. First and 10 Pioneers from their own 32. Number 4 Phillips, the ball carrier.
Again, just a power inside running play that the Unioto defensive front played extremely well.
No gain on the play, brings up 2nd and 10.
Second down and 10. Hartsaw alongside Langley in the backfield. It'll be Langley on the keeper to the far sideline across the 35-yard line. He'll be brought down right around the 40. Third down and short coming up for Zane Trace.
Tackle was made by number 8, Trace.
He's got him marked Dewey clear back at the 39. I thought he made it to the 41. Although he was leaning in, maybe his knee did drag the ground. But those 2 yards are big for these guys.
Gain of 7 on the play, brings up 3rd and 3.
Again, a chance for Unioto to get off the field again. Is there any question they're running left here?
Here's Hartsaw on third down and short. He's got the first down up to the Pioneer 45.
And that was all effort. They were making contact with him at the line of scrimmage, and he just said, nah, I'm not done yet.
First down, Pioneers. First and 10 from their own 44.
First and 10 from the 44. Langley firing to the far sideline. Passes out of the reach of Aiden Dunn, however, flag back at the 43.
Well, there's no question it was interference.
Incomplete, with flag on the play.
And he went with a little hitch and go, and obviously the Unioto player bit on the hitch, made a lot of contact, and it was right as the ball was coming in the air. Tough call if you're Unioto, but again, he bit on the hitch. And again, give Zane Trace some credit on first down, which is an absolute perfect play to throw on, is to be able to throw to try to mix that deal up a little bit.
Penalty moves the Pioneers inside the Sherman 45. Ball spotted right at the Yunyota 41.
41.
Hartsaw on first down up the right seam past the 35-yard line.
Again, just an inside zone play to Hartsaw, and he's running hard, picking up 5, 6, 7 yards. And again, if you can't stop that play, you're going to see that all night long.
Pickup of 7 on first down for Hartsaw. 2nd down and 3 coming up for Zane Trace. Three receivers to the field for the Pioneers. A pitch to the near side. This is Hartsaw across the 30-yard line. First down, Zane Trace.
Number 25, Hartsaw, the ball carrier. Tackle made by 14, Summer.
Yeah, I think that option is a lot more effective with Hartsaw as the pitch guy than Phillips. And there's no question they've put that play in their arsenal.
From the Sherman 27.
Same formation for the Pioneers. Ball on the left hash, spotted at the 27. Langley will keep it himself on first down up past the Yunyota 25. Pickup of about 2 yards on the play for Langley.
Again, the defensive end there kind of cat and mousing him a little bit, and that's basically the read that you have as a quarterback. If he doesn't attack you, you try to get up inside of him.
On the 24-yard line.
Second down, this is Hartsaw right up the gut. Not a lot of room for the senior.
Tackle made by number 10, Long. And 53 flat.
Oh.
Brings up 3rd and 6.
Again, 4-down territory, but an opportunity for Yunyota to try to get 1 foot off the field.
3rd down and 6. Langley throwing right passes, incomplete, intended for Aiden Dunn. 4th down and 6 coming up for Zane Trace.
And here's the crazy thing. That was kind of an ugly play, and it was a more accurate pass than you realize. If he catches that pass, he might have scored. Because what they're doing is going full boot this way and running slipstream to the backside. But he almost threw that without looking.
81,
Judah Hanks on for the field goal. He's 2 of 2 on the season with a long of 25.
I don't know if he's got this because I watched him in warm-up. This is about his range.
From 39 yards.
Short.
It will come up short. Field goal is no good for the Pioneers. Yunyota takes over on their own 23.
Yeah, watching him warming up, that's about his deepest range.
First miss of the season for Hanks.
And again, Yunyota with a golden opportunity here to put something together and maybe get on the board before halftime. But surely have to make a couple of first downs to at least flip the field.
Yunyota takes over on their own 23-yard line, 5:45 to go in quarter number 2.
And let's keep it in mind, too, those 7 points on the board were scored by a kickoff return. Uniota's offense, give Zane Trace defense. They haven't allowed a single point thus far.
Zane Trace to receive the opening kickoff of the second half. Knotted up 7 apiece with 5:45 to go in the second.
Uh-oh.
Be a jet sweep to the near side. This is Ty Woods across the 40-yard line.
Again, the first time we've seen kind of that double tight bunched formation out of Yunyota, and they run a little jet sweep. And again, going with a little bit of tempo here. And I've told you before, this is a very dangerous formation to throw out of if you're playing defense.
1st and 10, this is Woods again across midfield and brought down at the 48-yard line. Yard shy of the line to gain. Second down and short for Unyota.
Same exact play and a great run. 2 great runs back-to-back by Mr. Woods. Still in that tight look.
Second down and 1. Hoops
Throw it
looks
away.
to throw.
Smart play.
Throws it out of bounds to the near sideline. Third down and 1 coming up for Unyota.
And what Newton didn't know is he had pressure coming from his left side. And that was going to be a little slip screen over here that was defended. And the best thing he could do is throw it about 3 rows deep into the crowd. Yunyota, in my opinion, must pick up the first down right here. I look for Newton to keep the ball. Wow.
Third down, Hoops to throw. Under pressure, he is sacked in the backfield. Spencer Brower.
That's a huge play because, in my opinion, that makes Yunyota have to punt the football. I'm a little suspicious of Yunyota calling a fake punt right here. But I'm telling you, 5-6 yards is a lot.
Brower now up to a team-high 5.5 sacks on the season.
But they've got single coverage here on their outside people. They snap it to Newton.
Trace to boot it away for the Shermans. Dunn back deep for Zane Trace. Ball is muffed and pushed out of bounds. Zane Trace will retain possession. Disaster nearly for the Pioneers. Flag thrown after the play inside the 15 to the near side.
I just wonder if he's going to call him for illegal touching.
As of now, the ball will be spotted at the Zane Trace 12-yard line.
My question is, did he swipe it out with his hand or foot?
Body. Stick.
Yeah, if he did that with his foot, it's illegal. I thought he did it with his hand. But you can't kick a ball out of bounds. And I think maybe he swiped it with his foot. And I tell you what, if he doesn't swipe it with his foot, I don't know who that was from Unyota that was there, but he definitely was going to recover the ball.
Half the distance to the goal for the Pioneers, now backed up to their own 6.
Well, and Unyota has all 3 timeouts here. If Zane Trace sits on this, and let's face it, they're not going to throw here, they might be able to get the ball back.
First and 10, Zane Trace, 4:07 to go. In the first half, this is Phillips to the right side. He's brought down inside the 5-yard line.
Number 4, Phillips, the ball carrier.
Loss of 1 on the play for Zane Trace.
Tackle name and number 2, KB Perkins.
You know, and to tell you the truth, you know, Phillips hasn't been that effective beyond that first possession. He's had a hard time picking up yardage, and they've obviously gone to Hartsaw a little bit more and even Langley a little bit. But in this situation here, I'm not too sure Phillips isn't your guy.
4 receiver set for the Pioneers, 3 to Langley's left. He'll keep it to the far sideline across the 15. He's got the first down.
Number 7, Langley, the ball carrier.
Again, just a simple quarterback sweep. And the end is absolutely getting hooked. And they got nobody with any outside leverage at all. And he's able to run untouched for a first down.
First and 10 from their own 19.
First and 10 from their own 19 for Zane Trace. First down, this is Hartsaw, stood up at the 20-yard line. Looks to be a pickup of 2 for the senior.
Tackle made by 14, Summer. Gain of 2 on the play brings up 2nd and 8.
Again, if you're Yunyota here too, if you get a stop here, it's somewhere near the line of scrimmage and force a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, even a 3rd and 6, you might look for a timeout. Oh my, Zane Trace call. Oh, it's an official timeout.
Official timeout. Hartsaw
I think
forced
that
to go out of the game. Phillips will come in.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a mouthpiece problem or whatever, but something. He wasn't hurt.
Under 2:45 to go in the first half. Pioneers will keep it on the ground on 2nd down. This is Phillips to his left across the 25-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down and 3 coming up for Zane Trace.
Now, obviously, if Yunyota gets a stop here, they will call timeout.
Gain of 4 on the play brings up 3rd and 3.
And again, that's probably Phillips' most effective run in the last quarter.
3rd and 3 from the 26. Dunn in motion, takes the sweep to the far sideline. He's taken down in the backfield for a loss.
Should be calling timeout. Yep, 155.
Hill on the carry.
Timeout,
again,
Yunyota.
Give Yunyota a little bit of credit there for playing defense, because if anything else, there was a show of respect there by Zane Trace that they didn't want to go inside. And granted, they haven't shown the jet sweep a lot, but we know that's a good play for them. And again, if you show it a lot, people adjust to it. There's no question Yunyota had that play extremely well defended. And Uniota's going to get a crack. They're going to get a crack here before the half's over, no question. A minute, it's kind of like we talked about with Waverly and whatnot. Leaving time on the clock, anytime Yunyota has the ball, they can score. And they're going to have 2 timeouts and basically about a minute 40. And they're going to get the ball somewhere around maybe the minus 40 or 45 or even closer to midfield. Just depends on the kick and the return. And again, right now, Zane Trace's defense is pitching a shutout.
Spencer Brower back to punt it away for the 2nd time tonight. Cut right and Trace, the 2 deep men for Yunyota.
You're going to have plenty of room to return. Oh, he's got all kinds of room.
This is Trace from inside his own 35, flagged down around the 40. Trace is pushed out of bounds inside the ZT 45-yard line.
I think you're going to get a block in the back. And to be quite honest, it wasn't even necessary. Again, Yunyota should end up with the ball closer to maybe the 30-yard line.
Flag on the play.
There'll be a block in the back on the Shermans that'll push them back to their own side of the field.
Block in the back.
Inside their own 35, ball spotted at the Yunyota 33.
And again, if you're Yunyota, plenty of time, 2 timeouts, $1:44. No time to panic.
At the Sherman 33, where they take over 1st and 10.
Uniota's offense held scoreless so far through the first 22 and a half minutes of tonight's contest. Jake Howard, a late addition to the offense here. 1st and 10 from the 33, hoops back to pass. Forced out of the pocket, moving to the near side.
Oh, that's a
pushed out of bounds right at the 35-yard line.
He was nearly standing in the purple. I mean, it wasn't a big hit. It wasn't that physical, but it was late and out of bounds for sure. And again, stops the clock. Little small pickup of 2 yards. Again, if Newton would have had a little bit of vision there, I'm not sure who the receiver was, but he did have an open receiver when he started to scramble somewhere right around the 50-yard line.
Pickup of 2 on first down for Hoops. 2nd down and 8 from the 35.
Empty.
Braden in motion. Hoops to throw. Firing to the near sideline. It is overthrown and incomplete. Looking for Blake Hoops down his own sideline. 3rd down and 8 coming up.
Again, just a straight go route that Newton just overthrew by probably 10 yards. And to me, again, the money is in the middle of the field. And they're running a little mesh route here, which should bring somebody open.
.132 to go in the first half. 3rd down and 8. Spot route to the right side is through the hands of Caden Cutright and incomplete.
You got to kick it.
Zane Trace forces a 3 and out. 2 timeouts remaining for the Pioneers.
Brings up 4th down. Trace back to punt for the Shermans.
Trace back to his own 20 to boot it away.
Return for the Pioneers.
Aiden Dunn inside his own 35 for the Pioneers.
Pretty good kick.
Dunn from inside his own 25 is brought down. Ty Woods and Jake Howard in on the coverage for the Shermans. Ball spotted right at the 20.
Zane Trace nearly blocked that punt, but an outstanding punt and absolutely textbook coverage. And again, I'm not looking for Zane Trace to do anything here, sitting on the second half kickoff and 80 yards to go with the type of style of football that they got or have. I don't look for Yunyota probably to use either one of their 2 timeouts either. So I think we're looking at 2 running plays here and out of here.
Ball spotted at the 21-yard line of Zane Trace. 79 yards and 2 timeouts for the Pioneers. Phillips on first down across the 21-yard line, a pickup of 1 yard on the play for the Pioneers.
So that'll bring it down to 35. Yeah, they only have to run one more play. I look for Zane Trace to sit on this and maybe even burn one of their timeouts with maybe a second to go on the play clock in order not to take the penalty. But they only have to take one more snap here. And they're, wow, they're going to take a snap with 19 seconds to go and throw.
Langley to throw on 2nd down. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage. That's KB Perkins, his 2nd pass deflection of the night.
Now it's 3rd down. Uniota's going to get the ball back here because that's like a timeout. Uniota's still sitting on 2 timeouts. Uniota's going to get the ball back with 35 seconds to go or more. If they throw here, I'd be very, very surprised.
4 receivers set, 3 to the field for the Pioneers. Phillips alongside Langley in the backfield, 3rd down and 9. Langley will keep it himself to the far sideline. He's pushed out of bounds. That'll stop the clock at 42 seconds.
Wow. And that saves Yunyota having to call timeout, so now they're going to get the ball back with about 35 seconds and 2 timeouts.
Brings up 4th down.
Ball spotted at the 25-yard line.
And again, something we don't talk about very often in a high school football game. Yunyota doesn't have to score a touchdown here. Now, they've got to hit a couple of big plays, but Mr. Haynes has probably 40, 45-yard range, and maybe they can steal 3 points here.
Trace.
4 for 4 on the season with a long of 32 yards.
Get away. About the 45, 40, anywhere from 44 to 46. I can't really tell. 45.
Brower's punt rolls out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
I can assure you, Uniota's scored.
55 yards, 34 seconds, 2 timeouts for the Shermans.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, they're about 35 yards from maybe attempting a field goal, maybe 40 yards. Again, 2 timeouts, first down.
Hoops rolling right on first down, throwing right. It's nearly intercepted. Cohen Larson inches away from an interception. Clock stopped at 29 seconds.
I absolutely thought as soon as it came out of his hand, it was picked off. Great, outstanding play by Larson. And again, what do you hear me say week after week after week? The money is in the middle of the field.
Team high, 2 interceptions on the season for Larson. Nearly had his 3rd there. Yunyota keeping it on the ground on second down. This is Dollison across midfield. He's brought down at the 49-yard line. Timeout, Yunyota, 20 seconds to go in the first half.
Again, that's not the worst thing in the world either, because probably that run there does buy you a couple of more plays. Because you pick up the first down here, you stop the clock, you call another timeout, you're still going to have 40 yards with about 15 seconds. And one pass, and maybe Lucas Haynes, gets a chance to kick a ball here.
Carson Francis on hand for us tonight, providing game updates on Twitter, most likely having a article sometime early tomorrow morning.
Now, if you're Unioto, the other way to look at this is to throw here. They can throw here without much of a risk. But again, it's probably not going to be down the field.
3rd and 1, Hoops back to throw. Rolling right, he'll keep it himself across the 45-yard line. He's pushed out of bounds just shy of the Zane Trace 35. Clock at 13 seconds.
A good smart play there by Newton to get out of bounds. That saves him a timeout. You're looking at least 2 more plays, possibly 3. And you're probably 20 yards or so from being able to attempt a field goal.
1st and 10 from the Pioneer 36.
New set of downs for Yunyota from the Pioneer 36. Hoops.
Oh, he's got it.
Firing to the far sideline. It is overthrown and incomplete. Intended for Caden Cutright.
Number 5, Hoops' pass intended to number 13, Cutright, incomplete.
I don't think there's any question when they see the film tomorrow, Mr. Hoops will want that one back. Now you're looking at running a play and trying to get a kick here, because you're still sitting on that timeout.
8 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Hoops to throw. Under pressure, out of the pocket, he's brought down inside his own 45, and the ball is out. Picked up by the Pioneers.
Wow.
Time expires in the first half, so that'll do it for the second quarter of play. Zane Trace set to receive the opening kickoff of the second half, tied up at 7 apiece. through 1. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
There's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Parmar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Parmar has it. Download the Parmar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Parmar Rewards Card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
This presentation of high school sports on Southern Ohio Sports Authority is brought to you in part by your local McDonald's. McDonald's proudly supports all area athletes again this season. Visit your local McDonald's in Chillicothe, Circleville, Greenfield, and Waverly. And be sure to check out SOSA's newly relaunched podcast, Overtime, presented by McDonald's.
All right, welcome back in. This is John Bruce with Tim Daly here at halftime at Unioto. 7-7. I mean, you had talked in the pregame before we even came on about how you thought this would be a game similar like this. Did you expect maybe this low scoring?
No, I didn't. And the fact of the matter is you have to take into account Yunyota scores on the opening kickoff. Right. So, I mean, Zane Trace defensively is pitching a shutout. And, did I think that Yunyota, and let's face it, Zane Trace answered right back and scored on their first drive. So we've had really no serious scoring threats since. And, give both sides credit, especially Zane Trace, give them credit for being able to defend and being ready for what they thought they were going to see tonight. And again, I don't think it was any mystery to Yunyota what Zane Trace was going to attempt to try to do here. And I think because we've seen them before, we have a little bit of feel of what we thought we was going to see. I think that Yunyota has done an outstanding job of defending Phillips for sure. Hartsaw has hurt them a little bit, but who has hurt them the most is Langley on just the simple quarterback sweeps where they're able to get an edge, and Langley's able to run for 7 or 8 yards. It's an easy fix, but, if you stop those two things, let's face it, just like we said pregame, I don't even think Zane Trace would even tell you they're even comfortable trying to have to throw. It's just not what they want to do. But again, the other thing that Yunyota has done, they saw the jet sweep motion a couple times, and they got hurt once by it, but they've defended it 2 or 3 other times, especially on the very last one. They had that play. They had people waiting on him.
Yeah. Well, it was a defensive tackle that stopped it, too. Sure. Because they strung it out so well. Right.
And, I mean, really, there's only one – when you take a jet sweep, there's only one place for you to get, and that's outside. Yeah. So, I mean, and if you got a big tree trunk standing there waiting on you, there's really nowhere to go. And that's a feast or famine type play. And if you get it, you get the outside and get your shoulders square and get up the field, you can hurt people with that play. But again – give Unioto some credit for making the adjustment in the game to be able to defend that, but certainly they've seen that in their scouting report. And the other things that Unioto has had to look at has to be things that they were prepared to see. And again, the same thing with Zane Trace in a much different fashion. We haven't seen anything out of Unioto that we didn't think. We knew we were going to see slip screens and bubble screens and some quick rollout stuff. The funny thing about it is, the one play that I think that Yunyota has, and maybe they've shied away from it because it resulted in a turnover, was when Newton caught Crate, or was it cut right? Was it cut right? In the middle of the field, open, probably as good a throw as I've seen him make in his life, on target. He turns upfield, makes about 8 or 10 yards, but he doesn't secure the ball, and they end up getting the ball out. To me, that's where, especially in the cover 2, which is predominantly what Zane Trace is playing, that's where they're the can be exposed the least. Yunyota has had some success running. Let's face it, when they came out the next to the last possession of the game or the half, and was in that kind of that tight formation and ran the jet sweep out of that to Woods, a very effective play that I think that they can go back to and maybe use again. But again, at 7-7, we start over. Zane Trace will take the opening kick of the second half, and we'll see what happens. But again, I'm not so sure. Would it surprise me if Zane Trace kicked off? I wouldn't be shocked.
Because
I can tell you, if it was turned around the other way, Yunyota might kick off. I don't think Zane Trace will kick off because they don't want Yunyota to have the ball.
Right.
But I think if Yunyota was to have the second half choice, they might choose to kick off thinking that they can gain field possession there. But again, we'll see what happens. But, I mean, nothing's been decided here. I think both coaches would tell you they haven't played their best game so far. I would tell you that Zane Trace, there's no reason for them to come out of the game plan that they've made, and there certainly isn't any reason for Unioto to come out of their game plan. Both teams just have to do a better job of what it is they're trying to do.
Yeah, we're going to take a real quick break just to let the band go for a couple minutes, and then we'll be back to get you ready for the second half here.
tonight will conclude our performance with a special feature with our seniors and percussionists. Our last selection is considered one of the best anthems to the dance floor with its Latin groove and irresistible rhythm. Here's Ricky Martin's lead single, Livin' La Vida Loca.
And there's a little bit of the Unioto band. I believe finished second in the Battle of the Bands this year. Typically a top 2 school in the Ross County area. I think Chillicothe won.
And if I'm not mistaken, don't they play at Skull Session tomorrow?
Are they?
I think
so.
I think they do.
Yeah, so they're a very good, very entertaining band. So, so we got about 5 minutes, so really 8 minutes until the second half here. One thing that's impressed me from both teams has been the punt game. I mean, both punters have.
Well, they've had a lot of practice.
Yes.
I mean, they've had more practice than what we thought they're going to have, and not just the punt itself, but the coverage has been pretty good as well. But again, those are things that you spend a little bit of time working on each day, and then go through that pretty hard on Thursday, and of course we're into week 8 here. So I mean, those are things that. I sit here and say automatic, and we talked about dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids again, but those are things that should be about as ordinary as going to the bathroom for these guys now. But again, you can't take those things for granted. And I'm telling you, too, Uniota's last punt, even though it was a great punt and outstanding coverage, Zane Trace nearly got to that punt.
Yeah,
nearly got to that punt.
They've blocked punts the last 2 weeks. Spencer Brower's been huge so far in this game. It's kind of a little bit surprising because when they're running their sweep action, it's going at Brower's side. So I haven't looked close enough to see if they're doubling him because he's been, he had the first sack. I think he probably would have got credit for that second sack there at the end of the half. But yeah, it's 7-7, not really what we expected. But what does each team have to do in the second half?
And again, I find myself saying this a lot. I don't think either team has to. I don't think you're going to see any major adjustments. I just think that if I'm Zane Trace, I'm just in there trying to implore my offensive line to create running lanes and staying with blocks and we want to pound the ball at Yunyota. If I'm Yunyota, I'm just saying we have to do a better job of what it is we're doing, whether we're trying to run or throw. We have to make the throws, make the catch, make the blocks, make good reads, and do those things that we've worked on, not just this week, but starting all the way back from camp in July or I should say, I don't even know what they call those extended days before, but summer ball and then into camp. You've been working on that stuff for 3-4 months now. You just have to do a better job of it. And the bottom line is especially in a game like this game, and this is a championship type game, 1 or 2 plays is going to make the difference. Just like, again, I know I've said this a couple of times, Zane Trace's defense right now is pitching a shutout. Mm-hmm. And I can assure you, if you talk to Coach Hoops before the game and he was able to hold Zane Trace to a touchdown in the first half, he would take that all day long because he knows he's in the game. But if you would have asked him if he thought that he wasn't going to score an offensive touchdown in the first half, he'd probably want to fight you because he'd argue the difference. But give Zane Trace credit for being able to do that. But again, I think Uniota's defense has done just as good a job defending of what Zane Trace has to offer as they have. But again, nothing's been decided. The bottom line is it is 7-7, which is no different than what we started at zeros. And we've got 24 minutes of clock time to figure it out. But again, it just depends on from now who, and we may be saying this with 2 or 3 minutes to go in the game. This, to me, could easily be an overtime game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, both teams offensively are struggling. They're struggling. I mean, you say what you want. They haven't made big splash plays.
The one big splash play Unioto made, they fumbled on it.
Correct.
So,
and then the other one over here could have been a splash play, was overthrown by about 3-4 yards. So, I mean.
Yeah, it's if the thing with, Zane Trace, they have attempted a field goal, but it was a very lengthy field goal. I think if Hanks kicks through it instead of trying to get it over the line, it's probably going to get there because it looked like he was just trying to get it over.
And again, too, with having two, especially with Yunyota, it could come down to that type of thing.
Yeah.
I just don't know, but I could see where that could happen. But again, I think, to tell you the truth, momentum is waning. And I think, honestly, the first team that scores in the first or the second half will have a huge advantage throughout the rest of the game, because I think the other team will create a sense of urgency that you just don't create in the first half. And we'll see again who flinches first and see what happens. Now, again, we could talk about turnovers, and Yunyota did have the kick return, but they did turn the ball over one time, but it ended up not resulting in points because, let's face it, here's what happens. If you miss the game, here's what happens. Yunyota takes the opening kickoff back. They kick off to Zane Trace, and they go on about an 8-minute march, and I don't know how many plays.
It was 14 plays.
14 plays.
Yards, and that was set up by a huge kickoff return by
and that was even from about the 50-yard line. So we're 8 minutes into the game, and that's it. That's where we're at right now. So you haven't missed anything because the entire game is still laying out there available to both teams.
Yeah, so we will run a commercial here real quick, and then Dewey will be back, and we'll have the second half here on Southern Ohio Sports Authority.
There's not a Par-Mar store near you now. There will be soon. Part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
This presentation of high school sports on Southern Ohio Sports Authority is brought to you in part by your local McDonald's. McDonald's proudly supports all area athletes again this season. Visit your local McDonald's in Chillicothe, Circleville, Greenfield, and Waverly, and be sure to check out SOSA's newly relaunched podcast, Overtime, presented by McDonald's.
The winner of the split the pot getting $114.
$114.
The winning ticket is 205 9015. 205 9015. The red ticket 205. Box 205.
7-7 is our score here at Unioto High School as the Pioneers are getting ready to receive the opening kickoff in the second half. Some other scores from around the area. Miami Trace leading Chillicothe 28-7. Washington Courthouse 28-7 leaders over McLean. Jackson 49-14 against Hillsboro. That game is at halftime. Some SVC scores: Piketon 20 to Southeastern 6 in the second quarter. Paint Valley leading Huntington 21-0. Westfall 35-0 over Adena. Some SOC 2 scores: Wheelersburg leading Waverly 26-0 in the second quarter. Oak Hill 13-7 leaders over Lucasville Valley. Now to the OVC: Ironton 48-6 over Coal Grove. Fairland 14-7 over Portsmouth in the second quarter. Vinton County 43-6 in the second quarter over River Valley.
I think that's closer to 6, but puts a lot of pressure on Zane Trace.
3rd down and 5. Langley back to throw, firing over the middle. Pass is incomplete, intended for Aiden Dunn. 4th down and 5 coming up.
Again, he had a little bit of a step on him, and Langley a little bit high on the delivery, and I couldn't quite tell. It might have been slightly behind him, but he was coming open. But again, if you're Yunyota, an outstanding way to start the second half.
77 Brower back to punt for the Pioneers. Back to return for the Shermans.
Yunyota forces a 3 and out to start off the second half. Brower on to punt it away. Punt is blocked.
Get away.
Recovered by the Shermans and returned near midfield.
Again, those are the types of plays that you're looking for in championship football games. It's still very, very early in the second half, but those things have an emotional effect on players, especially high school players.
Punt is blocked by sophomore Bryce Jarvis. Yunyota takes over on their own 49.
Again, back to that strategic wing east look. Then there's a seam there.
Summer on the ground to the near sideline, pushed out of bounds at the 42.
And I can assure you, Mr. Summers got the better of that contact. Again, they've been fairly effective with that little inside play and creating a little running space over here.
Second down and short. This is Summer once again across the 40-yard line, has the first down.
Basically, again, the same play here.
Tackle made by number 2, Stewart. First down, Sherman.
First down for Yunyota inside the Pioneer 40-yard line. Clock stopped at 10:23. Here in quarter number 3. Summer, third straight carry to the far sideline. Has some real estate across the 25, 20-yard line.
Outstanding run to be able to. That was pretty well defended inside, and Mr. Summers bounced that outside and found a lot of daylight. Again, Yunyota on the march here with a little bit of tempo and being able to do it on the ground.
Sherman's now in the red zone. First down, Hoops will hand it off. This is Summer to the far sideline. He's brought down for a short gain on first down.
If you look up, if you Google search tippy-toeing, that was tippy-toeing right there. You just need to get that ball and get that ball up inside. It wasn't going to be a big play anyway, but he might have been able to hammer out 2 or 3, 4 yards. Again, no reason for Yunyota not to stay on the ground being in 4-down territory.
Second down and 9, Hoops to throw, firing near side. It's caught by Blake Hoops. He
very close to a first down.
Up to the 11-yard line.
Depends on where he spots that ball. I think he needs about a half a yard.
Brought down by Cohen Larson. Third down and short coming
Again,
up.
Yunyota hitting him with the tempo, looking for the bubble up inside.
This is Summer to the right side. He has the first down across the 10-yard line.
Number 14, Summer, the ball carrier.
Yeah, and I can see Coach Hoops yelling at him to tell him to get up inside sooner. There was a little bit of gap there, maybe even a little backside run.
Pioneer down after the play. Sophomore Lucas Euler. 7-7 is our score. 8:53 to go in quarter number 3. An up-tempo drive here for the Shermans after forcing a Zane Trace 3-and-out to start off the third quarter.
And then blocking a punt.
We have another lost phone up at the press box. It's an Apple phone. It's inside a case. It was found in the parking lot.
Again, something that we haven't seen yet tonight, but I don't know that we've quite been in it. Well, we know Yunyota hasn't been in this position, is be able to run those isolation plays up inside with Mr. Hoops. I still think they're a little bit far out. They need one more positive play before they can go to something like that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
First down, goal to go from the Pioneer 8. On the ground, Summer between the tackles inside the 5.
Outstanding line surge by Uniota's interior lineman, and Summers absolutely running with the ball over his feet. Same play.
Goal to go from the 3. Hoops has trouble with the handoff. Nonetheless, Summer across the goal line. Touchdown, his 5th of the season.
Number 45, Haynes on to kick the point after. Number 5, Newton Hoops the hold. Here it is, the blue slightly transformed. Just a bit of a break from the norm. Just a little something to break from the monotony of all that hardcore thing.
Senior Lucas Haynes on for the point after. Splits the uprights, and the lead is back up to 7. We'll take a quick break. 14-7, Yunyota leading 8:21 to go in the third quarter of play. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to wish all the fall sports athletes a very safe and successful year. Good luck.
Three-yard rushing touchdown, Summers' 5th of the season. PAT from Haynes was good. 14-7, Yunyota leading with 8:21 to go in the third quarter. Liam Mathion to boot it away for the Shermans. Matthew gives the sign. Another short kick. Larson calling for the fair catch. Ball spotted at the 37.
Again, Zane Trace for the first time since the opening kickoff has to play from behind a little bit, but no reason for them to get out of their game plan. And I don't think necessarily they have to answer this score, but I do think for momentum's sake, they do need to string a couple of first downs together. But here's an opportunity for Uniota's defense to continue the run they've been on. Empty.
1st and 10 from the -47. Check down to 37. This is done on the sweep to the far sideline. He's brought down in the backfield.
I think most of the time, especially on first down, if Zane Trace gets in that empty look, and then especially goes with the jet sweep, they're not going to throw out of it. But now for the first time, I think tonight, they've actually gotten them for a tackle for a loss on first down, put Zane Trace behind the sticks, which is not where they want to be.
Second down and 13 coming up for the Pioneers. Phillips to Langley's left, 4 receivers set, 3 to the field for the Pioneers. Second down, Langley looks to throw, firing over the middle, it's nearly intercepted.
A little bit of pressure inside and not a very accurate throw by Mr. Langley, and very lucky. If that would have been a little more accurate, it might have been intercepted. But again, Zane Trace in a really hole here at 3rd and 13, not doing, not being in the situation they want to be in. A great opportunity for Yunyota to get off the field here.
Third down and 13 from their own 34. Pioneers need the 47. Empty backfield. Timeout, Zane Trace.
Yeah, I think that was going to be, I'm pretty sure that was going to be a throw to Phillips, which is a good safe throw, and asking Mr. Phillips to make a play.
Noah Fetter's out for a majority of the season thus far. They've had him back for the last couple of weeks. Langley on third down. It'll be a keeper. He's headed to the near sideline, across the 40, up to the 45. That'll bring down a fourth. Should bring up a 4th down and short here for the Pioneers.
And I don't think it's time for Zane Trace to push the panic button. I think they've got to kick this ball away.
Ball spotted at the minus 44-yard line.
Wow.
Pioneers need the 47, 4th down and 3.
Wow. Again, in this situation, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think the ball comes out of Langley's hands. Coming right to it. No, going the other way. For sure, he's going the other way.
4th and 3, Langley on the keeper. Needs the 47. He's not going to get there.
Just went to the well one too many times. I mean, they've hurt him with that play thus far, but again, Uniota's kind of seen it enough to get it measured, and actually, that play was made by the backside pursuit, but the play was cornered so much better that time. But, again, if you're Zane Trace, I'm punting that football. And here's an opportunity for, not necessarily to drive a nail, but here's a great opportunity for Yunyota to get a chance. And to be quite honest, I would stick on the ground until they start defending it a little bit better.
Yunyota takes over on the plus 45-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground on first down. This is Summer to the near sideline, across the 40-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play.
Again, Zane Trace, it's not a very fast, it's kind of a slow developing play, but there's been a small crease there every single time. They're cornering the play, doubling the edge, and kicking it out and creating a seam. I look for Unio to go up top here. I just got a feeling.
Once again, this is Summer across the 40-yard line. Needs the 35 for the first down. He'll be brought up about 3 yards shy. 3rd down and 3 coming up for the Shermans.
Tackle made by number 3, Johnson.
What do you do here, Dewey?
Gain 1 on the play, brings up 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4, Summer alongside Hoops in the backfield. Dollison lined up tight to the right. Hoops will keep it himself. He'll be brought up about a yard shy of the line to gain.
Again, I'm not surprised we've seen Newton for the first time. And again, just a slow play, but a little bit of room there creates a very, I mean, you can't punt this football, but that's a good yard and a half that they need. Wouldn't surprise me to see the same play.
4th down, 1 yard to go. Summer straight ahead. He's got the first down inside the Pioneer 35.
Again, big time run.
First down, Sherman.
And Summers had one thing on his mind: 1 yard, move the sticks.
First and 10 from Pioneer 33.
First down, this is Woods to the near sideline. He'll be pushed out of bounds around the 30.
And actually made a little bit of a wiggle there to get the 3 yards that he did. And they went back to that tight formation. The thing of it is, I'm not sure why they wouldn't run that the other way.
Gain of 3 on the play makes it 2nd and 7.
2nd down and 7. This is Dollison to the far side, attempting to cut it back upfield. Nowhere to go. He's brought down around the 35-yard line. Loss of about 1 on the play for Dollison.
Tackled by a host of Pioneers.
Check that, a loss of about 4, 1 yard behind the original line of scrimmage.
Brings up 3rd and 11.
Again, I don't think there's anybody in this whole complex that doesn't think Unioto is going to throw the ball here. Just a question of how and where.
3rd and 11, Hoops back to throw. Forced out of the pocket, retreats behind the 50-yard line, now back upfield, firing to the far sideline. Pass is incomplete, intended for Ashton Crace up the far sideline.
Again, I don't think a very wise decision. I mean, a great throw at the end of the day, but a very wise decision for for Newton Hoops to turn his back to the line of scrimmage and run around. He's very lucky that he didn't take a huge loss there. But again, an accurate throw. It looked like to me that ball very easily could have been caught on the sideline. But probably an easy decision here to go on 4th down here, but again, the money is in the middle of the field.
Play clock down to 2. Shermans get it off in time. Hoops back to throw, firing deep down the near sideline. It is batted away. Aiden Dunn catches a piece of it. A turnover on downs for the Shermans. Pioneers take over on their own 34. 4:01 to go in quarter number 3. Big play from the junior on 4th down.
Well, and give Zane Trace credit. You know, and they gave up a couple of first downs or gave up a first down and you know, said that's enough. And actually it ends up their 4th down decision and turning the ball over on downs does not come back to haunt them, and they've stayed in this football game.
First and 10 Pioneers from their own 34.
Pioneer offense now 1st and 10 from the 34. Langley over the middle of the field. Pass is complete. This is Larson across midfield into Yunyota territory. 1st down, Pioneers. First catch of the night for Larson.
And again, a little sneaky play action pass and a guy in the middle of the field.
First and 10 from the Sherman 48.
Longest completion thus far for the Pioneers goes for 18 yards. First down and 10 from the plus 48.
You got 2 against 1 over here.
Langley on the keeper up the right hash. He'll pick up a couple on first down. Second down and 8 coming up for the Pioneers.
Again, just a designated quarterback keeper and a short gain. And Uniota's absolutely defending 2 wideouts out here with 1 guy. The slot guy is open.
Langley, another keeper across the 40-yard line. He's close to the line to gain for Zane Trace. First down, Pioneers. Under 3 minutes to go in the third.
First down, Pioneers. First and 10 from the Sherman 36.
First down, this is Hartsaw. Shot out of a cannon right up the middle. Hartsaw inside the 10, taken down. Flags rain in as a horse collar tackle was used by Yunyota. Huge yardage picked up by Hartsaw on first down.
Penalty was a personal foul against the Shermans.
Ball spotted at the 7. Penalty should be half the distance to the goal. First down, goal to go from the Sherman 3-yard line. Langley on the keeper to his right. Touchdown, Pioneers. A PAT away from tying it at 14. 6th rushing touchdown for Langley on the season. Second here tonight.
And again, just a, almost a wildcat type play where he's just taking the, the direct snap and running to his right behind the 2 running backs, and Yunyota just has a hard time. They've defended the play a couple of times, but by and large, that's been a very successful play for Yunyota or for Zane Trace tonight.
Judah hangs on for the point after. And he remains perfect on the season, 26 of 26 on PATs. We're all tied up at 14. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
At Ohio Health, you can see your doctor here or here, on this or on these. And no matter if you're over here, over there, or anywhere in between, you'll feel good knowing Ohio Health provides the finest care anywhere. Schedule care today at ohiohealth.com/finestcare.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at glocknercdjr@portsmouth.com.
7 plays, 66 yards, capped off by a 3-yard rushing touchdown from Carter Langley, his second here tonight, 6th on the season. Judah Hanks remains perfect on PATs. We're all knotted up at 14 apiece. Harrington to boot it away for the Pioneers. A short kick, but returnable from the Sherman 35 all the way up to the 45-yard line, close to a 10-yard return for Yunyota.
I mean, again, if you're Yunyota, you can't want for better field position than that. Again, I'm not sure why either team. I realize that Yunyota took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, but I just can't understand why both teams who have outstanding kickers aren't kicking that ball off.
Justice Zimmerman on the return for Yunyota. Ball spotted at the minus 45.
First and 10 Shermans from their own 45.
$1:59 to go in the third. Hoops on the rollout to the near side. Throwing to his right. It's complete. That's Blake Hoops across the 50-yard line. Pushed out of bounds right at midfield. 5-yard pickup on first down for Yunyota.
The gain of 5 on the play brings up 2nd and 5.
Four receivers set, 3 to the boundary for the Shermans on second down. This is Dollison across midfield, about a yard gain for the senior on second down.
Again, an outstanding play by Phillips, who chased that play from the backside, which is telling you that the play is too slow, because that play was blocked pretty well front side.
Give Dollison 2 yards on the carry. 3rd down and 3 coming up.
And again, here's a great opportunity for Zane Trace to put a little pressure on Yunyota.
Summer and Dollison both in the backfield with Hoops. Here's Summer to the near side. Needs the 45-yard line, close to the line to gain.
Tackle was made by number 25 Hartzell and number 50 Euler.
Oh,
first down, Yunyota.
Haven't moved the sticks yet. Well, I'm not so sure. If I was Zane Trace, I might ask for a measurement there. Same play.
First down, Summer met in the backfield. Lucas Euler, a big stop on first down for the Pioneers.
Now, if Yunyota learned anything from that play right there, if they stick it in Summer's butt or gut and pull it out, Newton Hoops would still be running, because that play was made by the read guy. If you're reading him.
Under 30 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Could be the final play of the quarter. This is Summer right up the gut. He's brought down close to the 41-yard line.
You're going to get the quarter, and it's about 3rd and 5.
Number 4 Phillips, 77 power.
Actually, maybe closer to 6.
We're through 3 from Unioto High School, 14-14, as we head to the final quarter of play. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Michelle and her dad. Decades of dares. 1 month of learning to jump. First day doing it solo. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie and Son Trucking. Willie and Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week, presented by Willie and Son Trucking, each week at SOSAOhio.com.
14-14 with 12 minutes to play. 3rd down and 6 from the plus 41 for Yunyota.
Again, and this is probably, for Coach Hoops, this is probably 4-down territory. So again, first down doesn't necessarily have to be picked up here, but it's got to get a little bit more manageable than 3rd and 6. And this is maybe where Neal bellies this thing in here.
Plenty of time on the play clock for Yunyota. Summer to the far sideline. He's brought down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. 4th down and 6 coming up for the for the Shermans. Big stop on 3rd down for Zane Trace.
I'm punting this.
No gain on the play. Makes it 4th and 6.
2 timeouts remaining for the Pioneers, all 3 for Yunyota. Matt Hoop's going to leave the offense on the field.
It appears
Have an
an
official timeout.
Cannot play when the ball is live.
Fourth down and 6. Shermans need the 35. Hoops. Back to throw, under pressure, steps up in the pocket, firing deep down the middle of the field for Trace. Pass is overthrown and incomplete. Pioneers will take over on their own 41.
Number 6 down on the cover. Trying to turn the ball over on down.
Big stop for the Pioneers inside their own 45.
Extremely big stop, and again, great field position and puts the pressure right back on Uniota's defense.
First and 10 for Zane Trace. Hartsaw straight ahead past the 45-yard line. All the way up to the Pioneer 47.
Number 53 Fleck and 57 Jarvis. Gain of 7 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Second down and 3 from the 48.
Number 25 Hartsaw.
Hartsaw once again. 1 yard pickup on 2nd down. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Pioneers.
Again, played really well inside by the Uniota front 7. And again, very near that make or break, but again, a chance for Uniota's defense to get off the field here. But I don't think that, I think this is Hartsaw all day long.
10 minutes to go in the final quarter of play. 3rd down and 2. Langley on the keeper, needs the 49 across midfield. He's got the first down. New set of downs for the Pioneers in Yunyota territory.
Again, just a good patient run and able to know the down and distance and what he needed, and again picks up the first down by a couple of yards. And again, a play that, you know, Yunyota has stopped a few times, but by and large, that's probably been the play that's hurt him the most this evening.
First and 10 from the 47. Phillips met behind the line of scrimmage. Ty Woods in on the stop for the Shermans.
And again, Ty Woods reading run all the way, runs right straight to the pitch man. Sure enough, the pitch man gets it, and he's there to make an absolute textbook tackle for a negative 3 yards and put Zane Trace behind the sticks.
Loss of 3 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 13.
Second down and 13 for Zane Trace. Langley looking to his left, throwing passes incomplete. Intended for Cohen Larson.
And I don't think that play was headed towards any kind of positive yardage either. And here's a chance again, with down and distance being 3rd and 13, an outstanding opportunity for Yunyota to get off the field.
Check that, Jaden Higgins, the intended target for the Pioneers. 3rd down and 13 coming up from midfield. Langley back to throw, under pressure, throwing to his right, looking for Silas Stewart down the right side.
And again,
pass is incomplete. 4th down and 13 coming up for Zane Trace.
Give Uniota's defense credit, and it was all set up by Mr. Woods making that outstanding tackle for a loss on 1st down. And not necessarily because the ball's at midfield, but because of the 4th and 14. Without a question of a doubt, Zane Trace has to punt the football.
Back to return to the Shermans. Number 8, Trace. Number 13, cut right.
Senior Spencer Brower back to punt it away. Cut right and Crace, the 2 deep men for Yunyota. End over end kick. Crace has trouble with the football. He's able to get back on top of it on his own 18-yard line. 8:35 to go in the final quarter of play. 14-14, all tied up here in week 8.
First and 10, Shermans from their own 13.
Again, Unionota in that tight bunch formation.
Here's a sweep to the near side. This is Dawson, cuts it back up the numbers past the 20-yard line, just shy of the 25. Looks to be around the 23. First down, Yunyota.
Yes, I think it's 1st down.
Number 44, Dawson, the ball carrier. Tackle made by number 4, Phillips. First down, Sherman.
Sherman's quick back to the line. Same play. This is Dawson to his own sideline. Pushed out of bounds around the 25-yard line. Minimal pickup on 1st down for the Shermans.
And again, I just noticed for the first time, and it's probably been happening all night, in that formation, I believe Blake Hoops is ineligible because they've got 2 wideouts standing on the line of scrimmage. They're doing it again. So they're running the ball.
This time it's Woods on the sweep to the far sideline. Up past the 25-yard line. Pickup of about 3 for the sophomore. 3rd down and medium coming up for Yunyota.
Again, not being in 4-down territory, I think we're looking at a throw. And again, they haven't utilized the middle of the field since very early on in the football game.
Both teams on the road next week. Yunyota at Paint Valley, Zane Trace at Southeastern. 3rd down and 4, Hoops. Looks to throw, throwing left, passes, caught. That's Crace across the 35-yard line. 1st down, Yunyota.
Outstanding pitch and catch, outstanding route, outstanding throw, good timing, soft coverage, easy, pretty 5 or 6 yards. And they look to be going right back to that tight formation.
Dollison for the 3rd time this drive on the sweep past the 40-yard line.
About 7 or 8 again. And that's a very, very slow play. And Zane Trace has been very close to defending that at or near the line of scrimmage.
6 on the play makes it 2nd and 4.
2nd down and 4 for Yunyota. Dollison to the near side, forced out of bounds by Hartsaw and Brower.
44, Dollison, the ball carrier.
Pickup of 1 on 2nd down for Yunyota. 3rd down and 3 coming up.
Yeah, I think this is a big play. I think this is a really, really big play for Yunyota to be able to hang on to the football.
Gain of 1 on the play makes it 3rd and 3.
Ball spotted at the 43. Shermans need the 46. Clock stopped at 6:49. Shermans will keep it on the ground. Summer has the 1st down, barreling his way across the Zane Trace 45. Flags are down.
I'm not sure if somebody got a piece of a face mask. Not exactly where you get a holding call, but yep, looked like a face mask. Good tough run inside by Summers, and really a great coaching move by Coach Hoops, because they've obviously been attacking the outside for nearly a quarter and a half, and to run that ball up inside with Summers, and Summers again is a kid that's going to run with the ball and his weight out over his shoes, and he knew what he needed and actually picked up plenty more and caught a little face mask to boot.
Penalty moves the Shermans up to the ZT 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Under 6:40 to go in the 4th.
Again, something you might try to make use of here too is the clock. You want to use as much clock. And again, they've been more effective running the football than they have anything else this half anyway.
First down and 10. Summer between the tackles. He's brought down right around the line of scrimmage.
See, that play's too slow. And I'm telling you, if Newton pulls that out of there, he's still running.
Summer now over 100 yards on the night.
And he's absolutely earned every one of them.
Blake Phillips and Bryce Johnson, the two Pioneers, in on the stop for Zane Trace. Second down and 10 from the plus 30.
Oh, he's got a hole this time.
Summer to the near side, flipping his way across the 25-yard line. Flags down around the spot of the tackle.
They got something, but look like he's got holding.
Holding.
It'll be holding on Yunyota. That'll push them back to their own 40-yard line.
Well, it's from the spot. I think that the side judge has got that spotted.
Correction as of now, ball being spotted at the 32. Tell you what, the entire audio track gets used at Unioto home games. Heard just about everything they most likely have to offer. Second down and 11 from the 32 for Yunyota. Hoops to throw on second down, throwing to his right. This is Dollison, who sheds the first tackler. A herd of Zane Trace tacklers coming in to finish off the play.
I can't tell if that's a flag in the middle of the field or not. What is it? Dewey signing?
Aiden Dunn and Lucas Euler in on the stop for the Pioneers. Third down and long coming up for Yunyota.
Again, a safe, very controlled passing, almost a screen type deal, and Zane Trace was having none of it.
Third down and 15 from the 35. Under 5 minutes to go in the 4th. Hoops to throw, steps up in the pocket. He's going to keep it himself. No, throwing down the far sideline. Pass is caught.
And it looked like to me Newton was beyond the line of scrimmage, but there isn't a flag laying there. In fact, it looked like to me he was a yard or two down the field. But a big play nonetheless.
Reception by Blake Hoops. First and 10 from the 12. Snap is over the head of Hoops. He's brought down in the backfield for a sack. Aiden Dunn. A big play on first down for the Pioneers. Under 4 to go in the fourth.
And probably about the worst time for that to happen if you're Yunyota.
Sack is made by number 6, Dunn.
Zane Trace defense has been giving pressure all night. Held this high-powered Unioto offense to only 7 points so far through 3.
I think this is a big play.
Hoops rolling to his left, looking to throw, firing to the end zone.
Oh, my!
For a touchdown.
Oh, my!
Caden Cutright for 21 yards.
And I'm not so sure that ball wasn't tipped. And I'm not so sure that ball wasn't tipped by 2 Zane Trace defenders. But give Cutright credit for staying in there, and not exactly the most well-thrown ball in the world. That looked like a Balasari throw from a few years back at Ohio State. That ball had wobble on it, but it counts nonetheless.
Haynes on for the point after has been a perfect 2 for 2 here tonight. Only 1 miss on the season for the senior. Splits the uprights. The lead is back up to 7 for Yunyota. We'll take a quick break. 21-14, Yunyota leading with 3:10 to go in the final quarter of play. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
There's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Parmar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Parmar has it. Download the Parmar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Parmar Rewards Card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
This presentation of high school sports on Southern Ohio Sports Authority is brought to you in part by your local McDonald's. McDonald's proudly supports all area athletes again this season. Visit your local McDonald's in Chillicothe, Circleville, Greenfield, and Waverly. And be sure to check out SOSA's newly relaunched podcast, Overtime, presented by McDonald's.
21-yard passing touchdown from Newton Hoops to Caden Cutright. PAT from Haynes was good. Lead is back up to 7 at 21-14 for Yunyota. 3:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Haynes on to boot it away. We have been seeing Liam Matthey a couple of times.
Well, I think that's probably because he's going to kick it away.
However, Haynes back in to boot it away for Yunyota. McCullough and Dunn back deep around their own 15 for Zane Trace. Big boot from Haynes. It'll roll into the end zone for a touchback.
And I think if you're Yunyota, that's huge because you've been handing them the ball somewhere around the 40 and 50-yard line. And now you're looking at the, and I can't even remember high school. Is it 20? Yeah, 20-yard line. I think Zane Trace is up against the wall now with 3:10 to go in the game. They're going to have to come out of their game plan. 80 yards. They do have 2 timeouts, but they've got to go tempo. And we haven't seen tempo from them all year long. So anything tackled on the field less than 10 yards costs them dearly.
80 yards, 2 timeouts, 3 minutes, 10 seconds for the Pioneers, trailing by 7. First down, Zane Trace on the ground, nowhere to go.
See, that's going to cost them 30 seconds, and they got nothing to show for it. And they're going to get in the huddle.
A game-winning drive for Langley and the Pioneers a year ago, and Kenny Kinnick backs up against the wall here in 2023. Under 2:45 to go. Langley to throw on second down.
Oh, he's got
Firing
him.
over the middle of the field. Pass is incomplete, intended for Cohen Larson up the right hash. 3rd down and 9 coming up for Zane Trace.
Again, and if you're Zane Trace, this is exactly the situation that you did not want to find yourself in. But that ball was extremely well thrown by Langley, not very accurate, a little bit on the short side. And actually pretty well defended by Yunyota. This is a big play right here. I mean, this is a big play. If you're Yunyota, I mean, you just want to keep stuff in front of you.
3rd down and 9, Langley to his right. It's batted at the line of scrimmage. KB Perkins for the 3rd time tonight.
And again, if he completes that pass, that play was going to happen at least for a 1st down. And this is the game for Zane Trace. They've got to make a play here to maintain possession of the ball.
Pass was intended for Aiden Dunn. Timeout, Zane Trace.
And if you're Yunyota, you just need somebody to make one more play on the defensive side. But again, I'm not changing anything. I'm saying I'm rushing 4 and I'm playing zone, and I'm going to sit and wait and see if we can make a play here. I think Phillips is in as a blocking back, but it wouldn't surprise me for them to run some type of middle screen here either.
4th down and 9, 4 receivers set, 3 to the field. Langley back to throw, forced out of the pocket. Firing down the far side of the field, it's caught in bounds. Silas Stewart coming up big for the Pioneers on 4th down. Move the chains.
Again, still sitting on 1 timeout. And again, he got out of bounds, so it stopped the clock to save, at least a spike ball or a timeout.
Ball spotted at the 45.
Uniota's over here playing 2 receivers with 1 DB.
Langley throwing to his left, pass is caught. This is done up past the 50-yard line, brought up just shy of the 45. No, they're going to give him the 1st down. Ball right at the 45-yard line. That was the line to gain.
1st down Pioneers. 1st and 10 from the Sherman 45.
1st down, Zane Trace from the plus 45. Pioneers on the move. They'll keep it on the ground. This is Phillips on 1st down.
Again, they may still have that luxury. I don't like the call, but again, with 2 minutes or 1:54 and ticking, probably afforded to be able to do that. But again, I just see 20 seconds ticking off the clock.
1:45 to go in the 4th. Coach Ware's hanging on to 1 final timeout. Langley.
I hate that
up the
call.
middle on 2nd down to the 40-yard line. 1 yard gained on the play. Clock continues to run. Under 90 seconds to go. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
And obviously there goes another 20 seconds with the offensive line huddling. It's just not something Zane Trace is comfortable being in. I think you have to throw the football here.
4 receivers set, 3 to the field. Langley rolling right, throwing to the near side. Pass is caught. That's Gunnar McCullough. Just shy of the line to gain. Clock will continue to run.
And there goes another 12 or 15 seconds. Now they're likely to pick up a first down here on 4th down. But the issue is the clock is becoming a huge issue here.
Pioneers need the 35.
And they
Under
lost
50 to go.
They lost probably 10 to 15 seconds there, and if they don't pick up this 1st down, they got a problem.
3 receivers to the field for Langley. On the keeper to the near side. He's got the first down. Tackled inbounds.
He got tackled inbounds, and they called him out of bounds. But they might have stopped the clock because of the first down.
Clock will stop to allow the chains to move.
And again, Zane Trace is in the huddle. They just burnt their last timeout.
Timeout, Zane Trace, their final of the half. .39 seconds and 33 yards to go. No timeouts for the Pioneers.
Again, not the situation. It's not an impossible situation, but not the situation you want to be in. 2 plays tackled on the field, a sack, any of those types of things right here are just deadly to this drive. And if you're Yunyota, you still kind of have the luxury of playing this thing a little bit soft. And Zane Trace cannot run the football again. Cannot. Can't afford it.
Only ways for Zane Trace to stop the clock: get out of bounds or get a first down.
And that only temporarily stops the clock. You'd have to clock it. Again, in the empty look, and a lot of times they've motioned Phillips back into the backfield in this situation.
1st and 10 from the 33. Langley to throw over the middle of the field. Incomplete, intended for Aiden Dunn. Clock stopped at 34.
Now, the one thing I do like about that play, he threw it in the middle of the field. And again, that was nearly complete. And again, all it is, if you're Zane Trace, all it is 2nd down. But you have to throw the ball past the sticks. And you cannot take a sack. You cannot take a sack.
Second down and 10. Phillips alongside Langley. To his left, complete. That's Larson. Just
but he's not
shy
first
of the
down.
line
It's
to
not
gain.
a first down.
Clock
Here's what I'm saying.
continues to run under 25 to go.
That cost him about 8-9 seconds.
Pioneers need the 24. Third
Cost
down
him
and
more
2.
than that.
Langley rolling to his right under pressure, firing back to the left. Passes intercepted by
He's
the
going to
Shermans.
the house. He's going to the house.
Caden cut right the other way. As time expires, that'll do it.
What's the flag for? They got a sideline warning over here.
Caden cut right.
All it is a sideline warning, I believe.
Ends it for the Shermans. Yunyota remains undefeated within the SVC.
Thank you all for coming out tonight, and please be safe driving home.
The question is, it's 6 points. Where's the 6? I mean, not that it's any big deal, but yeah.
Caden Cutright seals the deal for Uniota in week 8.
Let's face it, Caden. Oh no, that was Trace on the kickoff. I thought it was Trace who scored on the first play of the game and the last play of the game. But again, we talked about it before the game, and the bottom line is it took almost 48 minutes, or took about 45 minutes for Yunyota to get Zane Trace in a situation where they weren't comfortable, and you could clearly see that that's just not the situation that Zane Trace wanted to be in. And then Langley was smart enough to try to make a play, because that was going to be the last play of the game regardless of what happened.
For the first time in 3 seasons, Yunyota able to emerge victorious over the Zane Trace Pioneers for the first time since 2020. Not sure of an official final, as no word on if the Interception from Cutright that was indeed returned for a touchdown counted, as there were multiple flags down, presumably on taunting and sideline warnings. We'll take a quick break. 27-14 is the final from Frenchtown. You've been watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to wish all the fall sports athletes a very safe and successful year. Good luck.
Have a penalty. The game's over.
27-14 is our final. Unioto remains undefeated at 7-1, 5-0 in the SVC. Zane Trace suffers their third loss of the season, now 5-3 overall, 4-0 in the SVC. Both teams on the road next week for Yunyota does not get any easier as they head to Bainbridge to take on Paint Valley. Zane Trace heads out to Southeastern to take on the Panthers, who I believe had Adina tonight.
Well, and what's still laying out there is a gold, Unioto still have an opportunity for the gold bowl. Of course, Paint Valley does too. Now, if Paint Valley is to win, and that boils down to the last week of the season, we could actually end up with a three-way tie for first place. But there's still quite a bit of, if you're Unioto, I think you have a leg up, on the league right now. But again, there's no days off these last 3 weeks, and there's still a lot of SVC football to be played.
Stats from tonight's contest will start with Zane Trace. Carter Langley, 10 of 20 for 67 yards and an interception. Also had 12 carries for 33 yards. Riley Hartzall, 18 for 73, had 2 rushing touchdowns. Blake Phillips, 12 for 67. Now on to the Shermans. Newton Hoops, 20 of 31 for 172 yards and a touchdown. Blake Hoops, 6 catches for 53 yards. Ashton Crace, 2 for 17. 49 yards on 2 catches for Caden Cutright and the game-winning touchdown. Ty Woods also had 4 grabs for 39 yards. Dollison with 6 for 14. On the ground, Summer, 22 carries for 107 yards and a score.
Well, and I think Mr. Summers, and I said before, I think he earned every bit of it. And I can tell you, too, this was not an instant classic type of game. It wasn't played at that level. Now, it meant that much to both schools. There's no question about that. But, if you look back, Uniota's offense was very inconsistent, but was able to put a couple of drives together here in the second half. And again, probably the first one being a little bit better. I mean, the touchdown pass to me was almost an ill-advised throw or a desperation type throw that looked like to me two Zane Trace defenders had outstanding position, and somehow or another, and I believe it was Cutright, came down with the ball. I'd have to see that on videotape. I'm not sure that ball wasn't tipped at one time, or maybe by each of the 2 Zane Trace defenders, but nonetheless, he comes up with a great play, and it's the difference in the game tonight. Now, the last play of the game that we saw, I mean, again, a good defensive play, but that was created by the pressure that they got on Langley and forced him into a throw that he didn't want to make, and he knew he was running out of time and just threw the ball up for grabs, he's able to make a play and take it to the house, which was kind of some meaningless points. But again, outstanding football game if you enjoy watching defense. But if you came here to see two really sharp offensive teams, I think both coaches would tell you that they didn't play very well tonight.
Also receiving for the Pioneers, Aiden Dunn leads Zane Trace in receptions, 3 grabs for 13 yards. However, Cohen Larson leads the Pioneers in receiving yards with 2 catches for 26 yards, had the big 4th down conversion on the final drive for the Pioneers. Once again, Zane Trace at Southeastern next week, and for Unyota, a battle of the unbeatens within the SVC as they take on Paint Valley down in Bainbridge in week 9. That'll just about do it from Unyota High School. Once again, the final, Unyota 27, Zane Trace 14. Have a great rest of your night.